Hello everybody, today is Sunday, September 15th, 2024. Today I have 12 different names to talk about, so let's get into it. As per usual, this is not financial advice. This content is for educational purposes or entertainment purposes, whatever you feel more comfortable with. And I strongly suggest you to do your own research and due diligence before you spend or try to invest your capital on any type of equities. That being said, let's start with Apple. I've been day trading Apple quite often last week, actually, and it was because the setup was very similar throughout, basically from Monday until Thursday. I still did some day trading on Friday. And what I did was just get into a lower level, well, as per usual, somewhere on this area right here. And then I started trimming my position as this was going out towards these indicators. Throughout the day, you could actually see that there was a lot of opportunity, especially in this area and back in this area. So Apple did actually lose a lot of momentum by the end of the session, and a lot of names actually did as well. Normally Fridays you have lower volume, but I also think that we shouldn't be thinking that we are very heavy into a, I guess, bull market right now. I think things are choppy, and we're gonna see that within the I mean, probably this week coming up and the next few weeks. I do believe that uncertainty is still around. We have FOMC meeting this week, or I think it's on Wednesday. We should get some news about interest rates that is going to have some sort of reaction for the market. Is definitely a catalyst. We also have still until for a couple of months. We still have to deal with the election and the outcome of that, and whatever crazy news come in between. So I do believe that we're going to find a lot of volatility and choppiness, I guess, on the market. For Apple, what I like about Apple right now, we are on top of the 35 SMA and we are right under 225. I think if we actually get to break this level, which is a little bit stubborn at this point, we will probably see a continuation maybe towards 230, but I think it's going to be a slow move. It's going to be a choppy way up. I'm a little bit more bullish on Apple than bearish, to be honest. But again, there's uncertainty in the market, and but I feel like Apple is a little safer, at least for me, to day trade or to have like overnight swings. Other than that, I do believe that if we move towards 125, we are probably going to continue slowly towards 133. If you actually reject this level, 225, definitely you have your support level on the 35 SMA, which seems to be a little bit strong. Or if that breaks, then you have 215. Let's move on now to the next name, which, what do I have on my list? I have AGL. So let me take a note on this really quick. What I like about this setup is that you had this downtrend, very significant downtrend towards 320. I would have to take a look at my brokerage account maybe tomorrow and see how options are playing here. But what I like of this is that we're reversing MACD and TSI are looking like they want to curl towards their signal lines and maybe break, and RSI is kind of getting out of oversold territory right now. This level right here was rejected on Friday, but again, a lot of names lost momentum towards the end of the day. We'll see what happened here. Actually, during mid-session in this case, no, it wasn't during mid-session. It was actually, let me see, where am I? A little bit before middle of the session, it lost a lot of momentum, and that was it for AGL. I do believe that we might have an opportunity here to the upside. I want to see price action going over 3.7, and maybe in that situation there is opportunity to the upside. But I really like this. Maybe normally what I would like to see is a small rejection here, retest, and then going back up into mounting this level right here, and in this case 3.7. If that is the case, 440 would be your next resistance level. I do like this name. I think it needs a couple of more days, I guess, to mature a little bit more. Let's do a name that I've been day trading as well, and that is Amazon. I've been mentioning Amazon quite a few times in the last 2 weeks, and the reason was because of how we were surfing on the 200 SMA and also consolidating between these two indicators. This is the 200 SMA and this is a 35 SMA. What I said in the past was, and we were probably gonna bounce or zigzag in this area right here between these two indicators, and whatever breaks first, meaning going to the downside or to the upside, is probably gonna be the next move, and that's exactly what happened. We went over resistance at 175, and then we just continue going over 181. And now we are up at, what is the current price right now? 186 or 180, yeah, 186.5. You have this candle right here that is not the best. Can we consider this a shooting star? Maybe if we zoom it, yeah. So I don't know. This could be a little bit of an indication that maybe we are gonna cool down a little bit, which would be great. It would be nice if we get to 190 and then go down to 181 and then continue going up. We'll see what happens this week. This week is gonna be pretty, or this upcoming week is gonna be pretty volatile. So just keep an eye on Amazon. It's still looking good. I wouldn't be too worried about candles when we are actually looking at a time frame such as the 1 day time frame. I think that what is more important is volume and what we're seeing on strength for the stock. MACD and TSI are not losing any strength. The same with the RSI is a little bit pointing down, but I wouldn't be too worried about it. I do believe that if we reject this level 190, we're going down to one or probably zigzag or consolidate in this area between 190 and 181, and but for the most part, I'm bullish on Amazon as well. It's gonna be, again, a little bit choppy for a lot of names, in my opinion, to get to pass some levels, resistance levels in these cases, and maybe go towards all-time highs. That is gonna take a little more, I guess, momentum and maybe better news, and less volatility. So we'll see what we get. But I'm bullish on Amazon. Your levels are 181 as support, and you have 190 as resistance right now. Let's move on to another name that I've been looking at for a while, and that is ASTS, and it's looking good. You know, MACD and TSI are over the zero line, but it's fine. I do believe that we are probably moving towards 36.9 or 37. You have this trend line right here. You're also over the 35 SMA. That is also a good indication. You're over what I guess on Thursday was resistance, which was 27.8, and now this is support. I think, I don't know how this was after hours, if anything significant happened, but I don't think nothing really happened. So I do think that there might be a continuation. There's definitely opportunity on this name. It is in my short list. This probably is going to continue towards 36.9. And then you can reassess your position if you want to sell, or if you want to hold, or if you want to sell half of your position and then take the risk and see if this is going to continue going up. But this is definitely an interesting name. I actually saw a lot of people talking or asking about this name in X, what it was formerly known as Twitter. But there is definitely opportunity here. I like the fact that we are over the 35 SMA at this point. it did bounce, and now you're over what it was resistance on Thursday, and we are on our way to the next resistance level, which is 37. Definitely opportunity here, definitely something that I might end up trading next week. That's what I have for ASTS. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. And what is interesting about Bitcoin, I was saying last week, I wouldn't be too enthusiastic about this name until you break 59.7. Well, right now we're at 59.7. We did break 59.7 on Friday, and now you're seeing a little bit of weakness, but you know, at least for now, I wouldn't be too worried. MACD and TSI are not looking bad at all. RSI is neutral, so rebounding. Maybe we are retesting this level right here at 59.7, and then continue going towards a higher level. My next resistance level, I think I would set it on the 200 SMA. You break the 200 SMA and 67 is coming. So I think it all depends on how we're going to handle this support level at 59.7. How we're going to handle, if that breaks, how are you going to handle the 35 SMA? If that breaks, you're going back to 57. That would suck. I have Bitcoin, so I want Bitcoin to continue going up, but the chart is also telling me something, that there is a little bit of caution in this area. You also have a pretty decent amount of volume right here on this volume shelf, so that is actually a good thing. It would complicate things on the way down, but if we are retesting here, we're definitely going towards at least 63 or 64. Keep that number in your head. That's what I have for, let me see something really quick. That's what I have for Bitcoin right now. Just keep an eye on 59.7. If we are retesting, we're going back up to the 200 SMA, which is going to be around 63.9, 64. That's what I have for Bitcoin. Let's move on to another interesting name that I might end up shorting, and that is CAVA. Why am I thinking about shorting this name when things look like this, right? I was talking about shorting CAVA right here. So we have one, and it kind of worked out. I didn't get in because I was shorting Cisco and I was shorting Best Buy, which were positions that were actually pretty good. I was on them for a couple of days and they worked out for me pretty nicely. But on CAVA, the problem that I have with CAVA is that the PE ratio is 3,000 times. No, I'm sorry, 300 times, not 3,000, 300 times. And I think at this point, the valuation, obviously, because of that, the price of the stock is definitely very, very rich. That being said, that could mean that investors or the market itself, or whomever is playing this name, would probably start cutting their positions on CAVA. I think on Friday, if I remember correctly, yeah. So pre-market, it was pretty. It had a very nice move up, and then it collapsed throughout the day. Because what I think happened on Friday, at least what I was seeing, is that it was nicely. I think it was like 4% up or something early in the trading session, and then it went down to minus 2.36%. That's a pretty decent drop, if you ask me. But I do believe that there might be a continuation to the downside. When we were here, I was saying we're probably gonna fill this gap. It didn't happen. We came down and we basically bounced right on this area and came back up. Let's put a blue line right here because it didn't fill the gap at all. Yeah, I do believe that there is an opportunity to the downside, and I might actually take it. The MACD and the TSI look a little bit exhausted in my opinion, and the RSI is right on the limit of being overbought. So and it's crossing the signal line as well. So my assumption in this case is that there is going to be less influx of buyers into CAVA. Again, because of the fact that we have news coming this week, I'm going to be as per usual, I guess, very cautious in how I handle my positions, but CAVA is definitely one of those things on my short list. And as a matter of fact, I'm writing this down because I'm definitely interested in this, in shorting this position. With that said, I'm not actually saying that I'm going to jump onto this position and short it, but it's definitely on my list, because, well, you know, the chart is telling me something, and I feel it's a little bit overextended, and I also think these indicators are getting exhausted, and just a price action is a little bit too extra in my opinion. Let's move on to, oh, I couldn't read my own handwriting. Let's check on Clover Health, and let me take a quick note on this. You know, I was shorting Clover on this area right here. I went from here, I sold in one of these candles right here. It wasn't, I guess, a great swing or a great trade, because this move right here took a good chunk of my profits. I should have actually gotten out right here, but these indicators were telling me a different story, so I decided to stay. And then, you know, 2 or 3 days later, I got out, but you know, I lost a good percentage of my profits. I still got out green, but it took me a little bit of time actually also to be able to sell. My position wasn't very liquid, especially for the expiration date that I picked. So what I learned from that is probably pick an expiration date that is closer to my current date, or whatever date I pick, but I shouldn't go that far out. Anyways, this bounce on the 35 SMA went over resistance at 275, and another thing that I like is that these indicators took a breather, and that's actually a good thing, which means that now you have room to go back to 354. I think there is a lot of more people talking about Clover, based upon some very small research that I did. It seems like they are doing much better than how they were doing a couple of years ago, and some people are noticing that. That is important. I do believe that the fact that this back in the day, I mean a couple of years back, this was an incredibly volatile meme stock that you know, it would squeeze every now and then very nicely. I do believe it's not squeezing now. I do believe that you know, the market is starting to pay attention to what is going on with Clover. I strongly suggest you do a little research on this company. I'm not suggesting you to buy this long term or short term or whatever. I think it still needs quite some time to really become something that is really interesting. That is positioning itself into that I guess position. Anyways, I like Clover as far as what I'm seeing on the chart. It's not a long position for me yet, but I'm going to keep an eye on this name, which is very interesting, because a couple of years ago I used to trade Clover, and at one point I sold my position because I was up by a substantial amount of money, and I never looked back, and I thought, you know, this is another dog shit company from the meme stock era, which was obviously 2 years ago, and I don't have a lot of respect for that type of trading. So but now, you know, I came across a video of Clover on YouTube, and I was like, I'm gonna take a look at this property, and I looked at not property at this ticker, and then I realized, I looked at the chart, and then I checked on you know, how the company is doing, and I realized, oh, you know, seems like they are doing the right things. Anyways, Clover looks interesting. I think once we get to 35.54, there might be another opportunity. If we double top here, just like some other names, there might be an opportunity to the downside again. Right now, if I trade Clover, is in an opportunistic way. I'm not trading this as a investment position. That's what I have for Clover. And now let's move on to another name that I've been telling my followers in X that this was a gift, and I mentioned this name as well in my videos, and that is Google. So right in this area last week or 2 weeks ago, I was saying if we get to 142, that's an absolute gift. If we get anywhere close to 147, which is where this gap is, that would be a gift. But right in this area was still a gift. I did buy calls. I think on Tuesday I sold, on Thursday, and then I bought again. And I do believe that there's still more opportunity. If we break 200 SMA, which is this line right here, and we're over this, what it was resistance at 157, I think we're going to shoot up to 164. We would definitely break the 35 SMA without any issue, in my opinion. MACD and TSI are looking fantastic. This is a great opportunity. Again, next week is going to be a little bit of a shit show, but it seems, to be honest, it also seems like every week is a total shit show. So that shouldn't deter you from actually getting into good setups. Google, in my opinion, is a good setup. You can buy, I guess, calls for January of next year or maybe December. It depends how much money you have or whatever, however you like to trade. But I think there is definitely opportunity here. I've been swing trading, overnight swing trades and two days swing trades in this area, and there have been very nice, very profitable. But I do believe that I'm going to get back in tomorrow, because definitely there is opportunity. The MACD again and the TSI are looking great. The RSI is also looking good, and the chart itself is looking good. So let's break 200 SMA. That might happen tomorrow, and then 164 is where we are probably going to land and reassess the position. That's at least what I would probably do. That's what I have for Google. And I just noticed on my notes that I have JP Morgan and XLF. So I don't know. That's probably a little bit of an overkill. Let's do JP Morgan if I could find it. Okay, JP Morgan. So okay, so this sector is definitely losing steam. If you take a look at Citi's chart, or Bank of America, or Wells Fargo, or XLF itself, you can see that there is XLF doesn't look as bad, but you can see that there is a lack of momentum. That being said, JPM is a name that I really like, because this was a candle of news. I mean, besides the fact that there is different allocation of funds from one sector to another, the financial sector is definitely losing momentum. We can see it on the charts. But that being said, this was this candle came with the news of Jamie Dimon saying that he was going to retire and planning to find a successor. And instead of taking 5 years to find that successor, now he wants to take only 2.5 years. Well, that's bad news for JP Morgan, of course. But I do believe that maybe if we continue going towards 198, I don't think we're going to go down and all the way down to where we were on August 5th. It could happen, but at least for now, I don't think we're going to get to that point again, at least for now. But we easily could go down to 200. And if that is the case, there might be an opportunity for a long position. MACD and TSI still strongly diverge, which I think we are going to see a continuation towards 200. Not a position for me to get to the downside, but I'm going to wait for an opportunity to the upside. I love to see this kind of charts, because especially when you see these kind of peaks and valleys, there is definitely an opportunity to the upside or to the downside, whatever, wherever you find that the setup. But in this case, I'm waiting for this to cool down, for this downtrend momentum to cool down, and then take opportunities on to the upside. I really like what I'm seeing in JP Morgan, more than what you would see probably. Let's go visit Bank of America, which also looks pretty decent. As far as one of those positions in which you want to wait. You can see this is right here on support, Bank of America. We might go up. But I do believe that there is definitely more opportunity or more room to continue going down towards the 200 SMA. You see it on the MACD and the TSI. So if there is still weakness on the sector, the financial sector, there is, I guess, one of those things that you just want to wait on the sidelines and wait until there is a signal of a reversal, and there is where you're going to make your money. I wouldn't try to do anything on the downside because the move is already, in my opinion, gone. And when this happens, I just let them go. The opposite setup is going to come. So again, I'll wait probably a week or so just to see what happens here with these indicators, just to see what happens with the candles and the chart itself. And at that point, you're probably going to have a better story being told in this chart as of what is your next position. There is definitely opportunity here. I love what I'm seeing on this sector. I really hope this is not a bad omen for the economy as a whole. But other than that, I actually like what I'm seeing here. Let's move on to another name, and that is not MLI. Where am I? MU. So Micron Technology. And let me take a quick note here. And what I like about this name is that we are bouncing on support at 84.6. Now we are closing up to resistance at 92.8. I like the MACD. It's pretty much neutral and flat under the zero line. That is good. TSI pretty much the same. It has a little more of a strength to the upside. That is actually a good thing. And the RSI is already pointing up towards the 50 line. So I would like to see this continuation towards resistance, breaking that. And at that point, there is definitely opportunity. There is opportunity on this sector for sure. And there is a low level of liquidity here on this liquidity or volume shelf. So that is also something that might play in favor of anybody who wants to go long or for bulls for this position. I like MU. It's on my short list with CAVA. And I'm writing it down actually because I just want to make sure I don't forget. Anyways, that's what I have for MU. Since we are here, I just want to mention something really quick. I mentioned this name a month ago on X. I told people there's going to be fireworks. Be prepared. We're here. Look at that. Look at this. Okay. So I'm going to add that to the list of names that I mentioned. So let's see. Okay. Let's move on to, I want to talk about Tesla today. Where is Tesla? Here it is. So look at this. I did mention this setup last week on X and one of my videos as well. I do think that if we break this range, which my range is still 233 to 186, prior to that, I said 163, but I thought I was maybe that's a little bit too extra and it's too big of a range in my opinion. So then I changed my my thesis of a range for Tesla between 233 to 186. Well, that being said, we are about to break this. If we break 233, there is a very low liquidity in this area. You have this gap too, is probably going to get filled if we break, and then 265 is very possible. That would be fantastic. I do have a Tesla position. Stocks, it's not options. I do have actually stocks on Tesla, and it's a large position. So I would love to see Tesla continue going up. We'll see again what happens next week. Lowering interest, which that's what we are all expecting, is something that is definitely going to benefit a company like Tesla. So there's going to be a lot of companies that are probably going to have a very nice, good reaction to what the Fed has to do with interest rates if everything goes positive and if they don't come around hawkish. I do believe that companies like Tesla or companies, for example, in a different sector like a firm would definitely benefit from that type of news. Real estate companies are also going to benefit and whatnot, but focusing on Tesla, I do believe that we definitely have a continuation coming up. We might see a little bit of red or whatnot, but I just love to see, or the fact that we have the similarities here between what we were going on at the end of May, beginning of June or mid-June, and then what happened towards the end of June and July, and we had this nice rally right here, which was pretty aggressive. And to be honest, I didn't take advantage of it because I was probably trading Microsoft and some other names. But anyways, this was very beautiful. I wouldn't be surprised if we break 134 and then continue going towards I'm sorry, I said 234, and then continue going towards 265. We break 265 and that's it. It's just fireworks everywhere. It's happy days for me, for everybody that like Tesla. There's a lot of idiots who don't like Tesla, but that's okay. Anyways, let's move on to the last name of the day, and that will be what I was announcing, XLF. And I'm sorry, I'm just taking a quick note. There is definitely weakness here, but you also had a nice rebound on what was this on Wednesday. You came up, but if you actually go to Wells Fargo, for example, or Citi, or you go to other names, JPM, JP Morgan, or Bank of America, you're definitely going to see a weakness on the industry, on the financial sector. MACD and TSI are not looking the best. RSI is neutral, so which also is telling you that the strength for the stock might continue going down. These are not the best type of candles that you want to see. These are neutral candles that also are telling you the market is not very decisive on where to go. That being said, I do believe, again, what I just said in JP Morgan, is that there is definitely opportunity once the dust settles and you actually find, I wouldn't say a bottom, but once the move or the trend cools down, there is definitely opportunity to go in the opposite direction. I think this is what is going to happen right here with FLX and in some names for the financial sector. Anyways, that's all I have. I think if you break 44.1, you are down towards the 35 SMA, and you might have a reaction just like what you did here. We'll see. Or if not, you're just going to continue dropping towards probably 43 and then 42.5. That's all I have for you guys. I will see you guys in the next video that should be coming tomorrow afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate whomever watches these videos, and see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.